I feel like everyone has asked this question at least once when they're an anime fan. Is Demon Slayer actually overrated? And that is what we're going to be talking about today, because I really do think that this is an interesting topic, especially with season 3. Ufotable is really at the top of their game in terms of animation. It's just so good, but I'll talk about that later. In general, is Demon Slayer actually overrated? Let's talk about that. First off, let's talk about the plot. Now, if you haven't watched Demon Slayer for some reason, it's basically a shonen anime type plot. Boy, freaking tragic beginning, and turns into a demon slayer to kill all the demons. I know it sounds familiar, but it is what it is. It's shonen, right? But the way Demon Slayer does these things can be very, very unique. The animation, sound design, all of that stuff, extremely top tier. Very obvious to whoever watches it. If you're a hater, if you're a lover, the animation, direction, sound design, all of that production quality wise, it's a masterpiece. It's not really Ufotable's fault when it comes to like plot, characters. It's not their fault. All they're doing is making the story come to life, and they're killing it in that aspect. That is why I think a lot of people adore this anime, because of the visuals, how high quality it is, how polished it is, and most importantly, how consistent it is. There's not one single episode of Demon Slayer that I can say that I've seen some crust somewhere. That's some places where like, you know, when you watch anime and there's like certain scenes when you can tell that the budget has been cut a little bit. But with Demon Slayer, it's like full, always movie quality. The best CGI. You can, if you look really, really closely, you can tell that you're using CGI, but it's extremely good. It's not like crappy CGI. But I feel like that is why a lot of people adore this anime. They overlook everything else in terms of the plot, the story, the characters, more so because the visuals are just so impacting. Like, they're such a big element of the enjoyment to when you watch Demon Slayer that they can like forgive certain aspects of the story, which I'll get into in just a bit. But to add on to what I was saying, the scenes have so much tension. I just felt like I was at the edge of my seat 24/7. Like the first few episodes, maybe 3-4, it's like, okay, you know, they're getting introduced to whether it's a swordsmith village, entertainment district. They're just getting introduced into this little area, and then it's just like full on action, incredible visuals. It gives you chills, goosebumps 24/7, bro. 50-minute episodes, like the last episode of season 3, the first episode of season 2. You gotta give freaking Ufotable credit, bro. Everything just gets you so immersed into the world of Demon Slayer. The tiny little sounds that Tanjiro's earrings make, the little make it all so much more immersive. But let's get into the plot, bro. Let's get into the story. Listen, bro, I'll be real. Demon Slayer, writing wise, is definitely not the craziest thing ever. A lot of people can agree with me, but it's not bad. Heavy emphasis on this, it's not bad. This is all my opinion, by the way. For instance, I absolutely love the hashiras are getting their backstories, and the upper demons are getting their backstories. It's all really, really good, especially the upper demons, because you get to see how they got in that position. Some might say it's like generic backstory type thing, but personally, I really, really enjoyed the season 2 upper demons backstory. It was like nice seeing him, like how he was treated badly all his life and how he got into that position. Yeah, it's done a lot in anime, but I always appreciate it, especially when it's done well. Oh my god, bro, if I was more connected to the characters, I would have cried so much in that final scene of season 3. The music, the visuals, bro, it was peak, and it was all like, there was no pauses. It was like just 15 minutes of just continuous you just being at the edge of your seat, of being like, oh my god, really, is this happening right now? It was just a roller coaster. My point is that even if Demon Slayer doesn't have the best plot ever, the way the anime executes it makes it seem like it's the best thing ever because of direction techniques, soundtrack, all of that stuff, and of course the animation. But that being said, I do think that the plot is pretty solid. It's engaging, it has its characters, it has its depth, the world, everything is just very, very well made. But it's nothing super extraordinary in terms of plot. For instance, something that I personally disliked, spoiler alert by the way, if you have not finished season 3, skip to this part, but I really didn't like how Nezuko didn't die. Like, I get it, she's like the unique demon, the first to conquer the sun, all that stuff, I get it. But the way that the scene was happening, the way that everything was building up, in my opinion, it would have been much more impacting if she did die, I'm not saying that a character needs to die for something to be impacting. I'm just saying in that moment right there, Tanjiro had to like decide. He had to choose. Do I choose my sister or do I choose the people? Do I let this demon escape? And it just came to like his sister just pushing him away. It was super impacting, man, because it just shows you how like fighting these demons has its consequences. It has its drawbacks. It's not easy. You're going to lose people along the way. You're going to have to make sacrifices. And that message and that impact is just completely removed when Nezuko just is alive. I get it, bro. Like, I understand. Obviously, they don't want Nezuko to die, but me, when I'm thinking like what could have been more impacting, what could have been better story-wise, I definitely do think that if Nezuko died in that moment, it would have been super emotional. Tanjiro's character development would have been insane. It just would have hit much harder. Not to say that people don't die, because, you know, the Flame Hashira died in Mugen Train. The difference is Nezuko is Tanjiro's sister, and you've seen Nezuko since the very beginning of the anime, and I really do feel like that moment would have been extremely impacting. No cap, would have been one of my favorite anime episodes ever. There's so much meaning, there's so much message, how sacrifices sometimes are necessary to reach a goal. Not necessarily in the way that someone needs to freaking die. For instance, you need to sacrifice a certain food to get fit again. You need to sacrifice a certain hobby, pour dedication on something else that you're more passionate in, etc., etc. It's very parallel, gone when she's alive. But yeah, bro, basically, never really talked about Demon Slayer ever. I do think that this anime is really good, and sure, a lot of people might put this like at the freaking top of the pedestal, but is it really overrated? Is it truly overrated? In some aspects, yes, but overall, I think Demon Slayer definitely deserves the love it gets because it's incredible. It's amazing. That is my overall opinion on Demon Slayer as a whole. Can't wait for season 4. Crack the subscribe button. Tell me what you freaking think of Demon Slayer. Do you think it's overrated? Do you think I'm tripping? It's a special anime, bro.